Welcome to What's in the DVD Box podcast. The only podcast asking what is in fact in the DVD box. Introducing your hosts, Jonathan Lind and David Winkler. Now, welcome to the pod. All right, welcome back to What's in the DVD Box podcast. I'm Jonathan Lind. I've got David Winkler here. David, what's in the DVD box this week?
This week it's Man on Fire from Denzel Washington, early 2000s movie, and boy, was it early 2000s.
We've got Denzel Washington.
Yep.
We've got Dakota Fanning, young Dakota Fanning. We've got a surprise Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
I said to myself, that looks like Mickey Rourke. I looked it up. Yep, it's Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
We've got Christopher Walken, a presumably younger Christopher Walken.
He does look the same. He has looked the same for 40 plus years now.
40 plus years.
Yeah.
But he's a great kind of sidekick to Denzel on this one. Kind of helps move the movie along. My question to you, David, why was this movie in the DVD box?
Clearly because the cover was Denzel Washington walking with a bunch of fire behind him, which I don't remember that being a part of any scene within the movie, but the actual box itself, man on fire, fire behind him, he's protecting a little girl. I said, that looks cool. I definitely want that one. And that's how it got in the box, as I'm probably grabbing a whole bunch of, probably 5 bags of sugary cereal, just walking past the DVDs, pick up this. Okay, it's going to be a good Tuesday night.
Denzel Washington aura farming in front of a fireball. That looks like a good time.
It does.
And, I guess the movie does deliver on the cover.
Yep.
Because that does come up. We'll get there.
Yep.
He does walk away in front of a massive explosion. He walks away and drives away in front of an explosion. So kind of has it all.
Definitely explosions. So,
had you seen it before multiple times? What was your opinion this time around?
Man, I loved it. I'm pretty sure that my fascination, which is my fascination of Mexican cartels and just kind of like what that world is, started with this movie. Like I didn't realize that till I watched it again, to be like, man, what a crazy world it is, where cops are just corrupt and kids get kidnapped all the time, which is really happens. Like this is not based on a true story, but happens all the time. They throw a stat up at the beginning of the movie, which is like a kidnapping happens every 60 minutes within Mexico, and 70% of the kidnapping victims die, which is just a crazy stat. I don't know if it still holds true, but at one time it did. Mm-hmm. And so it just kind of brought up all these like memories for me watching again, to be like, what a crazy setting for this movie to be taking place in. And I ate up all the action, Denzel being peak Denzel. I mean, he just is a significantly more badass person. I know he's an actor, but I'm pretty sure he could do that in real life after watching that movie.
And that's one of the things about Denzel that I felt the whole movie is he just has that aura about him that's like, oh, yep, this guy's legit. And I thought this movie, first half, way different than the second half.
Yeah.
It's one of those ghosts, introduces you to character. He's obviously pretty broken. Okay, nice. This is a good character study. And then he gets shot up a couple times. And he just, he flips a switch and the movie says he's back.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought the early 2000s aesthetic of we are going to double expose and swipe the camera all day long. And you like, if you've seen Bourne Identity, there's a little bit of that. I feel like that's the palatable version, where it kind of gets to be a little bit much. They use it for some of the flashbacks.
Yep.
Okay. This happens, every other scene, every other cut, we've got something. Even just normal, what would be a normal shot, reverse shot
Yep.
is like those cameras are on dollies and they're not panning left to right. They are on a curve, they're on an arc, and they are circling these actors. And just the mere like, I need you to check out this license plate. You've got it shot like it's the president is declaring nuclear war.
Yeah. I actually have a good, I think, comparison for what is happening with the camera. When my 4-year-old takes a camera and runs around the house with it to like, hey, video this one thing, and she just is like schizophrenically moving the camera around. That's what happened. A lot more than you would expect a movie that's made by Hollywood to have in weird places. You're like, okay, oh, he finally caught the guy. He's about to get a whole bunch of, he's going to torture him and get a whole bunch of information out of him. And then all of a sudden the camera is just going crazy. And
Denzel's
like,
just sitting there.
And he's just sitting there.
And it's like these 16 different like cut overs and it's double exposed. And but he is just kind of like, is he standing over a guy? I'm not sure. Like, this is really serious. Oh, the guy's still in the car. Yeah. Okay, cool. What? Yeah, there's a lot of B-roll that does it too. So it doesn't in a lot of the main scenes of the movie, you have a little bit of it, but in like 90% of the B-roll, you are just that schizophrenic 4-year-old is going crazy.
I mean, it is a confusing choice. I think this is one of those times where in that time of movies, it was just like, hey, this is a good idea. This is what's going to make this movie punchy, everyone's going to understand that this is serious and frenetic. And I am curious on what their thought process was going through in the editing room after they did that for the 50th time. And if they sat back and were like,
this is good.
We did a good job here. We
nailed it.
Good job. Or if some directors out there, more. I need more. There was 7 cuts in this 4-second time. Give me 14 and we'll call it good.
And it's not even, it's not even the action cuts to make it more visceral. These are in like, static like memory scenes or like he's drinking a bunch of Jack Daniels and he's very drunk. And so how they show that is just cut, which is not my experience of being drunk. It's more of a just like things are kind of slowing down and, it's more of the like the 70s psychedelic lava lamp feeling versus like, oh man, if you're cutting, that's, wow.
I mean, it gets a point across, but then after cut, and then all of a sudden you hit a rave scene and it's like, this is the exact same thing that I've been experiencing, just louder, much more loud noises for a sustained period, but the cutting is the same, which a cut like that in a rave scene kind of, helps you like build tension and everything, but it's not like, hey, she's swimming in the pool. Let's do all these cuts right now. It's, everything's going crazy and you're like, what did I just watch?
Why do I feel so tense? My shoulders kind of hurt after this movie.
Well, for lots of reasons, because, but
okay,
the cutting was crazy, kind of did ruin it. It's funny you point out about the pacing, too, because it's like I paused it when I knew that the tone was switching from, like character development. Little girl gets kidnapped. All right, he's about to go on it. It was like halfway through the movie, exactly, and I was like, all right, second half of this movie is him going to kill, which they made a big point about. It's like, all right, this guy is a Picasso with a gun, which is pretty cool in the context.
I mean, Christopher Walken. Well, let's talk about some scenes. We'll get there. We'll get to Picasso. So let's kind of take it from the start.
Go.
He introduced, okay, clearly an alcoholic.
Yep.
He's got problems. He's got a buddy, Christopher Walken, who's looking out for him. He gets a job for a family to be a bodyguard. He's meeting the family. He meets the dad. Like, why are you so cheap? Yeah. I'm an alcoholic. You get what you pay for here. Okay, great. We'll hire you. Just don't make it obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is also like, like a 10 a.m. drive to the house to meet the family. Wife comes in. Oh, you're American? Yeah. Hey, you want a drink? Yes. And pours him a drink. It's a stiff drink because it's not full.
Did I hear he said Jack and Coke or something? I thought he said.
I think he just said like a whiskey.
Oh.
Or something. Anyways, it doesn't matter what he actually got because they exchanged, 2 or 3 pleasantries, and then he finishes the drink and says, "Thank you, bye." And the wife is like, "Hire him."
Yeah.
I love it. Which probably has to be the worst character judgment. But also, it goes back to the Denzel Washington just has pure aura. He taking a drink at 10 a.m., finishing it is like, yep, this is the guy we want. There's no other two bits about it.
I did the scene in the car where he's driving and they're talking about like, why are you so cheap? That felt very good. Good writing there. Okay. He's being honest. The guy respects that he's being honest, but clearly there's some shadiness happening in the background of why they want just a cheap bodyguard. And you're like, you don't really understand that. The mom, the wife part, just being like, cool, feels like she's just looking at him and being like, seems like a pretty legit guy right now. And the fact that he just finishes the alcohol in front of her, just a bold move, just a power move. Would not have done that if I were in his situation, but you know what? Little girls need to be protected by big, strong black guys, I guess.
And you and I are not Denzel Washington.
We are not.
So it would hit way different if that was us.
It would be.
Yes, I'd like a drink, please. Like, get out of my house. What are you doing?
A very sad situation.
Okay, so fast forward. What, for me, the next scene that kind of was like, okay, we're getting a little bit more on, Creasy, on Denzel's character. He drops the girl off at school, and the head mother is saying, "Hey, we're glad she's back." And Denzel, says that line, I'm the sheep that got lost, Madre. That one was like, okay, he's the lost sheep.
Yep.
Love it. How Creasy, we got to get you back. How are we going to get you back? And so I'm prepping for like, a redemptive character arc where he comes out of the darkness.
Okay.
Thinking, okay. And then as it progresses and I'm sort of waiting for that character arc, I think, well, it says, on the cover, it says man on fire and he's running away from an explosion. Like maybe this is a different kind of man on fire than what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
So take me through anything, from that scene, before that scene, as he starts to get in relationship with Paita.
Yeah. I knowing what's going to happen and watching it again the second time, I actually thought they did a really, like, from this point on in the movie, to do a really good job of like building their relationship and also like really showing how jacked up he is as an individual. And for whatever reason, there's something about this movie that stuck out about the scene where he's drinking and he's practicing ejecting a shell and catching it and not being able to catch it. Like that's something, it has always just stuck with me from the first ever watch of this movie about just like being in a state of like not being able to function with something you're so used to and being out of your mind with alcohol. And just like showing how broken he is as an individual and really like not caring about redemption, right? That's not what he's about necessarily, but you see as he progresses through the movie, like less leaning on alcohol as a crutch, these vague spiritual vibes kind of being brought in, but like he's just leaning into the brokenness and he's going to use it as an effective tool to get what he needs accomplished in this movie. But I thought all the scenes with Creasy and PETA were like really well earned. Like you felt you felt like, okay, he's getting to know her in a way that like he's connecting with her over the swimming, right? It's not just kind of like, now we're playing T set. That would feel dumb.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, they just focus themselves into this swimming, and everything's going better. He's starting to get to know her. The parents are absent, which of course, when you're rich parents, you have to be absent. What do? You just buy a puppy when you get home after a long trip that you haven't been for a while. That's what we all do, of course. And so that whole scene they set up really well, and it's just like leading up until like, okay, something's going to happen, and you keep waiting for it to happen. And then you realize once they start to set up this piano recital thing, which they don't want to go to, she doesn't want to go to. Creasy's trying to talk, give her ways of getting out of doing the piano so she can go do what she is really passionate about, swimming. And then bam, action starts, which all of a sudden he just starts getting Swiss cheesed with holes like right off the bat, and you're like, how's this movie gonna go from here on out? And
which I thought was nice, because most of the action movie tropes is like, the inciting incident happens and the hero just goes nuts and takes care of business. But in this one, it wasn't really the case. He got, he kind of knew something was wrong, but he was late.
Yeah.
He was late, and he didn't really have, his words earlier were right. Like, they got what they paid for.
Yeah.
He's going to do what he can. So that, that's pretty solid. But yeah, she comes out of the recital, or comes out of the lesson, and, it's bad. And yeah, he does just get peppered. Absolutely. I mean, he does take, 2 or 3 guys out, but he's also down himself. PETA gets taken. We're in a hole now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then from there, from there, it kind of like, obviously revenge tour, but okay. Well, so from there, they go and they do the exchange, and they kind of set this up earlier in the movie where it's like, okay, this is how when a kid gets kidnapped, parents go, I mean, it's about the money, right? Like, this is a business down there, a business of kidnapping. So a kid gets kidnapped. It's about getting the ransom money from rich families down there in Mexico City. And so there's a whole setup. They have shady Mexican anti-kidnapping cop come in, start saying like, don't actually give them the money. Like, like, we're going to do this all my way type of thing. And it's just kind of like sketchy from the get-go, but they're supposed to be bringing $10 million and dropping it off and then getting her back. And it just goes off the rails. Not really sure what happens, but then the guy comes back, who's the kidnapper, and says, sorry, girl's got to go. Which I'm curious how, like, at that point, were you buying that she was done, or were you in your movie head of like, she'll be fine, she'll probably come back around? At that point, did you buy it went wrong, she's gone, this is about avenging this little girl's death?
I think I hadn't really thought about it a whole lot. I realized, because I probably landed more on she is probably dead.
Yeah.
And Denzel is just going to kill everyone. Because that scene where he's going to try and find the license plate, goes into her room and, finds the diary with the license plate number on it. Mom comes in and he said, hey, I'm looking for my stuff. She asks, okay, what are you going to do? And he just says, I'm going to kill them all.
Yep.
And it's like, okay.
Yep.
Drop the needle. Here goes the montage, which that got me going.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
okay.
All right. If I ever need motivation, I'll just play that scene. I'll probably kind of categorize all these scenes and just, hey, we're going to play them back to back and just get jacked up. So I kind of just took that at face value. I wasn't really thinking a whole lot one way or the other of, hey, are they going to rescue Peta. Is she still alive? You know, I think part of me was like, she probably isn't dead because we haven't seen the body.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't actually seen that. But I took it more in terms of, hey, this is probably, I think I took it as there's a chance that the film just sort of forgets about her.
Yeah.
And goes on this vengeance tour and is more interested in that anyways. But, you know, if you're going to do that, you probably don't cast Dakota Fanning.
Yeah. You're thinking logically in the real world. But the question is if the movie does a good job of actually getting you to buy
I think
the situation that's unfolding.
I think a decent job because a lot of it falls on Creasy, on Denzel, and he sells it.
Yeah,
like he believes she's dead. So you know, I really just sort of take the nod from him. He thinks she's dead. Okay, she's probably dead. Oh, he's just learning she's alive. Oh, I also too am surprised.
Yeah,
I'm taken aback.
Yeah. I mean, his acting is great. Like, I mean, crazy cuts aside, some interesting choices with the writing. He is just solid throughout this as the character he's supposed to be playing. He is a broken person. You buy that with like everything that he does, and then you also fully believe that he's about to go kill all of Mexico in order to get revenge for this girl. And they play off the whole vague, like, agency, adjacent assassin type of deal that's happening, and you're like, I buy it. Let's go. Let's go after it. One of the things that struck me about just the whole setting in Mexico in general is just like, okay, so now you have this reporter lady who's, you know, she's sniffing out a whole bunch of this bad stuff, and then some, like, generic detective cop, you know, Mexican government official guy, just kind of like helping him along through a situation, which all these movies need some kind of like help in the, you know, information. You got to run plates. How's he going to do it in Mexico? You know, that I didn't necessarily buy her helping in that way to be like, yeah, I know what's, you know, going to happen when I give this license plate to him. You know, the car's going to get thrown off a cliff, and someone who's had their fingers cut off is going to come out, and she's just like, cool, let's keep doing this.
It definitely is a little bit less earned, and maybe less because she comes in at the press conference.
Yep.
You know, she's wearing a red blazer, and this is the first you're introduced to her of like her grilling, you know, a police chief. And it's like, yeah, okay. This is the first we've seen of her. You know, my understanding is like that probably wouldn't have gone over too well.
Yeah.
And so this probably is the first time she's done that. Because if it wasn't, she probably would be dead by now.
I mean,
you know, based on the premise of the movie is that, you know. And then later on, she and her, was it someone else that worked at the paper or someone else that worked for the police that she was with?
The guy with the mustache?
Yeah, the guy with the mustache.
He was like with the DFI, which is their like FBI type of.
So they're investigating stuff. You know, this guy with the government agency, she's a journalist. She's got these mug shots. Someone comes up to them. The guy gets shot in the knee, and then she just gets a gun pointed at her.
Yeah. And
they just say, don't publish those photos. That to me, like, kind of lost all credibility for her character because it just was like, okay, she has plot armor. They didn't take the headshots. They didn't they just stuck a gun in her face. To me, that doesn't go as far as they've gone with anything else.
Yeah.
You know, as the Hermandad, the Brotherhood, would have been doing otherwise. So to me, that's like, okay. So that whole arc, you know, really just serves to help Creasy, you know, get his revenge. And so that one was kind of weak in terms of writing and believability and, you know, also for the Brotherhood, because then shortly after too, like Creasy then just has tracked down the president of the Brotherhood and sticks him with some C4 and that's that. Like, you want to make a wish? Yeah. Wish for more time. And like, that's kind of just it. Okay. Okay.
It was a convenient way to like, okay, he's going to go interrogate people. He's going to find information. He's going to need some tying of information together. Who's that going to be? Okay, this reporter who's sleeping with a government official, and that combination of people is gonna keep the plot moving along. Mm-hmm. I think for me, it's a weird thing to dork out about, but like knowing what happens down in Mexico with like reporters and everything, yeah, they usually do get killed pretty easily. I mean, the amount of like, if you stand up in a corrupt,
yeah,
what I think would have gone a long way is if we would have had some other way to buy that she can stand up, talk to these people, these cops, and just feel okay questioning them about the fact that the corrupt cops were clearly there at the scene of this kidnapping. Like, what's happening here? I mean, I guess her being somewhat having relations with the government official kind of protects that, but the corruption is just so deep. You need
that wouldn't be enough.
That wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, you would almost need her to like. They don't think they talk about the cartels at all, but I think if she was like some like top bigwig cartel's daughter,
yeah,
who's just like, hey, she's kind of being let loose, and she wants to, maybe she's a little naive. About where all this corruption comes from, but she's untouchable because she is essentially like second in the cartel, or
that's a good
daughter
that's a
of
good
the
point.
So like that sort of thing would have been like, okay, she's playing with fire. It probably would have involved a lot more plot to the side to set some of that up. Plot to the side to say, hey, she's got to stop. Cartel boss is going to be like, hey, it's my daughter. She can do whatever she wants. That sort of thing. So I don't think it really contributes to the overall plot line of, okay, Creasy's got to meet the family and build relationship with PETA. And then on the second half, go on this rampage. But that whole like support system is just like, oh, Creasy's a good, Denzel's got aura. So we're just going to now be able to stand up to everything because of him, which until you like think about it afterwards, it kind of works. Yeah. It does kind of work.
You can't think about it too much.
If you have maybe a not quite as accomplished, not quite as elite lead actor in that role, you probably start thinking about these questions in the movie while you're watching. But because it's Denzel, you're like, yeah, this checks out.
That's a great point. And I probably never thought of it that way, because I walked away being like so stoked after this movie.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it as I was watching it, but I was just like, the aura just got me locked in there. And I was just like, yeah, let's go. Okay, somebody give him a piece of information so he can go kill some more people. Like that's what my brain was like going through as I was watching this movie.
So here's another perfect example of that for me was he's like, hey, I don't have the last number of this license plate. You're going to have to run 10 plates.
Yeah.
Well, we get one plate and it's the guy. And I think, oh, lucky.
I mean,
because it's Denzel and he like obviously, but then thinking about it after is like, no, you should have just gotten the 10 plates and like, you can just do a 20-second, like, nope, that's not the guy. Yeah. Nope, that's not the guy. Oh, we found him. No, it's Denzel. It's, he got on the first try.
Yeah.
It's not relevant.
The plot,
keep it going.
The plot point about the 10 plates did nothing for it. I think they were trying to be like, well, she didn't get all of it, but it's like, if she would have had the whole thing in there, like, wouldn't have changed anything. It just would have gone to him. Like,
found the exact plate.
Didn't really do anything.
Yeah. But because it's Denzel,
it was like, didn't matter.
Just like, yeah, this makes sense. She didn't get the last number, but it's Denzel, so he got it.
I mean, honestly, what I was believing is that he already went to 10 other people and, figured out. He knew what the guy looked like. He had those super cool early 2000 little sunglasses that were
So then for me, he gets through, several guys and then is really towards the end. And he goes into the barrio and gets I guess it's not the main guy, but it's someone they keep calling the Voice. And he gets the Voice's brother, but then gets shot in the chest. And by my count, I don't know, 5-6 hours go by before he actually finally bleeds out. And he does a full interrogation scene. He takes, a couple hostages, and they basically can't fight back because he's Denzel. That was probably the one thing that was like, hey, hey, Creasy, we're gonna stop that bleeding, right? Yeah. Hey, we're gonna put a vent on that chest wound. Yeah. Like your lungs probably collapsed. You remember how bad that hurt last time?
Right in the lung.
But this time, no, you're fine for now. Okay, bud. What are we doing? We're just gonna give up and we're gonna die? Yeah. Oh no. Oh.
That is. I mean, as we're talking through a lot of these somewhat plot holes, this was the worst literal plot hole of. The
plot hole was in his chest.
I thought I didn't remember that happening, and so he gets shot. I was like, oh, he's got body armor. Clearly, he's got body armor. It's fine. And then it starts bleeding. I was like, huh. All you had to do is not have it bleed, and we just assume it's body armor, and we could have kept going, but it was right through the lung. There's all these tropes. Just get, flesh wound. We all know what a flesh wound is. Everyone who watches these movies knows what a flesh wound is. It just goes in and out. It's fine. Yeah.
Shoulder.
There was no exit wound.
Arm. This one.
There was no blood on the back of the shirt.
Center mass.
I was looking for it. Center mass.
Chest.
Lung. Wasn't in the heart. I know what
like
side
the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, they were just loosey-goosey with throwing out bullet holes in him and just him being fine. I mean, which it does take, it shows he's badass. Maybe he's a Superman person. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's basically Captain America in some ways, but you're like, didn't set that up. So it does feel not very earned. But I was going to say something about the scene where he gets the anti-kidnapping cop and he uses the C4 and a suppository. That scene was crazy. And in fact, as I was watching it again, I was like, he's showing him all the stuff right there. And I was like, did he not put it up?
Did he not already do this?
I wasn't sure. I still, even after all I'd seen, I'm like, maybe he didn't do it. That seems like a pretty messed up thing to really do to a person. But nope, he did it. And that's all I need to know.
I did think it was going to just be a psychological thing where it's like he didn't actually set anything up and he's just going to walk away and leave this guy to be embarrassed for the rest of his life. Nope.
It's called Man on Fire. And
you got to get that shot of the explosion and him walking away.
You know what? Actually, this is the other thing that was happening in my brain was, if that actually happened, it wouldn't be a big fireball explosion. It would just be a person blowing apart. It'd just be like chunks of meat flying everywhere, which would have been gross. And so I was like, but I wasn't thinking early 2000s movie, which is anytime there is a explosion, it's just a fireball. So it's you're not really, it's almost like, it's not that bad. It's just a fireball. The person dies. It's fine. Not, I got torn apart from my anus from a C4 bomb. It would be a bad way to go.
It would be a very bad way to go. And yeah, it's probably in 80s and 90s and early 2000s and to some extent the 2010s of thing explodes, fireball. It's just visually way cooler.
Yeah. As he's walking away. Anus bomb going on.
Or even earlier when he shoves the car off the cliff.
Yeah.
There's nothing combustible really. Or car falls onto the pavement. Yeah, that explodes. Yeah. A huge fireball.
Huge fireball.
Looks really cool.
It looks great.
Also, everything's intact inside, and they figure out who's in there and who's dead.
Oh, actually, the ID's just barely burnt around the edges.
Yeah, perfectly, crispy but not burnt.
Also, the car falls in like a soccer field. There's just like kids playing soccer and just like falls because that's
Obviously.
a trope. It's like, oh, what are the kids doing right next to this cliff that cars could fall off of?
I guess now they know.
Now they know.
Okay, do we have any like villains of the movie?
I mean, the voice is the villain. They set him up. He's supposed to be this shadowy guy. But I will say that guy getting his, not very satisfying.
No. Well, he doesn't get got.
He gets got at the last scene. Like, and maybe you turn off. It's like you think the movie's over, and then all of a sudden it's this black and white scene of generic cop with a mustache who is friendly with reporter lady, finds him and it's showing him shooting him, and then the voice falling into a pool, and it says,
oh yeah,
it's like he
yeah.
was killed in the raid.
Oh, that's right.
In a
That's
raid
right.
at the end. So
Yeah.
He gets got, but like wasn't very satisfying.
No.
And so he was a villain, but like the thing was he was just a voice. Like,
Yeah.
you bought in the situation that it was a serious situation. He was a kidnapper. He was good at what he was doing. You weren't going to catch him. It wasn't like, hey, let's find out where she is. You weren't going to find out where she is. You weren't going to find out where this dude was. Like,
Yep.
they set it up good, but him as the setting of Mexico makes the villain, not anything about this individual makes
Right.
it,
It's more about the organization, less about there's a face to the organization.
I will say they did a good job of like, as he's calling the family originally to be like, here's the demands, and the scene is just like, you can't see his face, but he's just playing with his kids as he's talking about like ruining these people's lives.
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa. That part was pretty savage. So like,
Right.
just the heartless and like the business-like nature of this terrible thing that if it happened to any of us is
Awful.
I mean, just-
worst day of your life.
worst day of your life news story for days and days, which is actually a crazy thing of like setting up how often this happens in Mexico with like, if this happens to one, little blonde girl in Colorado, it's like all over the news cycle, all over.
Right.
Everyone hears about it. Huge deal, manhunt, everything happening. That happens every 60 minutes in Mexico.
I think it said Latin America.
In Latin America, okay, yeah.
So
It's
little broader.
a little broader, but still, like,
But yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like,
it happens a lot.
It's just a day that ends in Y. Unfortunately, kids are getting kidnapped. So that juxtaposition sets up that this villain knows what he's doing. And I think, like I said, there's nothing about him specifically, but the setting sets up that this person is not to be messed with. And, the decision not to have Denzel, kill this guy in the end kind of shows that the guy won on some level.
Yeah.
We don't even see what happened to PETA and her mom. I mean, I think we're supposed to assume.
Drove off into the sunset.
I mean, yeah, but it's Mexico. It's
True.
It's there wasn't a happy ending in this, but
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as a villain goes, just a situation sets up someone you did not like, and that's what not a satisfying ending. Either just leave it. I think they should have not killed him at all in the way that they did. Just leave it. This guy won. Like, this guy's going to keep doing it, and it's like,
Yep.
that's a successful villain.
Yep.
And like, or have a satisfying way of him dying, like, Denzel.
Yeah. It's a confrontation with the hero. Antagonist, protagonist meet.
This would have ruined it if like Denzel walks up to all of them in the car and he starts pulling out his watch.
I thought that's
like,
what he was going to do.
And you're like, oh, but you're like, Oh, suppository bomb to blow up everyone. Like, not a cool way to go out, really, other than just the implication there is.
And it's early 2000s. Americans aren't too fond, even today, of suicide bombings.
Yeah,
so,
that's good. That's
he was just like, you know what? We got the girl back. We're good. Not gonna go any farther. Also, he should have died before that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. How did finding out that she was alive and then that like reunion scene, how'd that hit for you?
I think it was great. It was, again, Denzel is so good because he's obviously bleeding out. He's obviously in trouble, and he flips the switch for her.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm fine. I'm gonna use all the rest of my energy to reassure you and like, hey, how's it going? Good to see you again. All right, your mom's right down there. You'll be fine. And yeah, like I thought it was good. You would have wished he could have found a way out.
Yeah.
For some redemption.
Yeah. There was no redemption to be done other than a life for a life. And that setting up that was like, he was willing to do that for her. And that's a redemption we got. It's like, he was this self-obsessed man, broken man, and he was able to, in the end, do this noble sacrifice for the girl.
Yeah.
I think for me, watching this now, 18-year-old Dave, obviously didn't have any kids at the time, was just like, this is cool. Denzel's a badass, whatever. That like feeling of knowing like that reunion and like getting a daughter back. Literally, she looks like my kid. It was trippy as I was doing that, knowing what could be happening to her. It hit differently for me this time to be like, man, what if that was my kid? Well, like, what would I do? Just, I love my kids, and just devastating upon devastating to have it happen. And then that redemption was so much better. And you do like, you want some more justice in the situation, but that's the crazy thing about Mexico is like, there's not justice in so many scenarios. There's only more pain on top of it. And it just is a very messed up situation. And so that's maybe what's so fascinating to me about the whole Mexican experience. Is it's a lot of pain. It's honestly a lot worse than the movie portrayed in real life, which is saying a lot when you're looking at some R-rated Hollywood movie. The real situation, so much worse. I would say so much worse. Than what we saw. But it was good to get some redemption within her getting rescued, better than just, because what could have happened? He just kills everybody. Movie ends, he dies or walks away. Doesn't really matter. It's just all about killing. At least you have this like mom gets, gets reunited. So
yeah, I do think they, if they had a little more familiarity with the Bible, they probably would have picked a different verse earlier.
Yeah.
There's Romans 12:21. Don't repay evil with evil, but repay evil with good. But the sacrifice at the end is, greater love has no man than this, that he should lay down his life for a friend, which is what happened at the end. So, I liked how they kind of put a lot of, Bible and religious subtext, and kind of pretty overt too. I think they portrayed that well. But I think, they missed the opportunity to tie it back to what led him to make that decision ultimately, that no, actually the only thing that I have to do is give everything I possibly can for this girl to make it out.
Yeah.
Which is what he does. Now, it's there in the actual actions of the movie, which is great. But, to tie it back to that, this is actually the part of the redemption for him, for his character, could have gotten a little further ahead of, oh, he's just on a revenge tour, and then some new information comes out, and then he sort of changes. Overall, I think it was a fun movie. Unfortunately, I don't think we really got any dad fights out of it.
Yeah. I mean, he was too.
Denzel
is not going to have dad fights.
No,
he's just not.
He's got too much aura to have a dad fight. Yeah. Dads don't exude that sort of aura.
You need middle-aged, 50-year-old white guy, and he's not any of that. He's just way too cool. He's just way too cool. It's just way too cool. And you're waiting for some, if Mickey Rourke got in a fight, there was lots of, dad fight opportunities within Mickey Rourke's character. Unfortunately, homeboy got his head cut off with a katana, which was also a kind of surprising thing, but fits within the story. You're like, okay, Mickey Rourke, no more. But yeah, no dad fights. The only thing I would say, and this is as he was shot for a lot of times and walking a little bit slow, a little slow on the draw with some things. That was about as close as you could get, but he's still significantly cooler than Harrison Ford punching some, one-armed guy in a laundry room.
PhD.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, no dad fights in this, unfortunately. But yeah, this movie was great. I did really like watching it again, really enjoyed it. Because what I know about situation in Mexico, having a daughter now, and then Denzel just being Denzel, I think it really hit. I made a comment. I was like thinking earlier, it's one of my favorite. As we talked about it, it's definitely good. I'd watch it again. I'm super glad I got to watch it going through the box again. But I don't know.
This one for me, I think was good. It was a fun watch. I don't hate that I watched it. I probably wouldn't watch it again. I think really because of the aggressive early 2000s cinematography. I think that would just bother me too much. And I would, if it didn't have that, or it like just had a little bit more restraint, I would say, go watch this movie. But if that sort of thing doesn't bother you, or you haven't seen a movie like that in a long time, go check it out. It's a fun movie. It's Denzel. So like, he's an elite movie star. You are not going to have a bad time watching him in this movie. It's just maybe afterwards, like, at one point I was actually, am I feeling dizzy, or is it just that this movie keeps cutting aggressively still? No, I think it's the movie. Yeah. I'm okay. I stood up, cleared my head. I'm like, I'm good.
As we go through these movies, we're going to need a name for what is happening with these quick schizophrenic cuts thing, because it's of the time.
Yep.
As I was going through Walmart, the movies that I was picking probably had lots of this.
A lot of these.
And I actually probably didn't know that there was a better way to do these things. As an 18-year-old kid, it was like I watched the cartoons, I watched Jackass, and then when movies like this happen, I was like, let's go. I mean, my attention span was probably not quite as long back then, but I liked it. So I imagine this is going to come up, so we should probably figure out a way of what is that schizophrenic movie. We'll workshop that. But
yeah, if you have any ideas, leave us a comment.
Yeah.
We're on Spotify. I'm also publishing some posts along with these on Substack. I'm not a good writer. Go check it out. Make fun of me. That's good. Fine. Come hang out.
He's better than he's saying. Go read it. You can decide. Leave a comment. I guess if
you make up your own mind.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. This has been Man on Fire for our DVD and the DVD box.
I'm David Winkler.
And I'm Jonathan Lind. Catch you next time.